Blessed to be a part of your day each and every day on 107.5 FM, 580 AM, KIDO Talk Radio. Coming up, much more on the government shutdown, much more on the wall. And it's funny, our friends at Channel 7 recently, they're saying, should Idaho support the wall or pay for the wall? And 49% say yes and 51% say no. Imagine if the national media focused on, well, just objectively covering the news instead of being a part of the advocacy journalism program, being not objective at all. In other words, having an agenda. Could we just get rid of agenda journalism? Well, to give us her thoughts on this, our great friend Megan Barth, returning from ReaganBabe.com and a variety of organizations. Good morning.
Good morning, Kevin. Happy New Year. I haven't talked to you in a while.
I know. It's good to have you back here on the good ship Lollipop. Now you're with RedWave.vote. Tell us a little bit about that group.
Well, we're in the middle of a website redesign. We quickly launched it right before the midterms to help Ted Cruz in Texas, and we erected billboards across Texas. Beto's still back, though, and he's going to show you the inside of his mouth. What is with these candidates on the Democrat side? Popping beers, trying to cool, showing us the inside of their mouth at the dentist. But that is a PAC that my partner and I started. And now that we're in 2020 mode, we're going to make it much larger PAC and start targeting special races as well as, of course, the presidential race.
So what have you learned? I mean, you're a journalist, you're a vlogger, you've been attacked for wearing a Trump hat. What have you learned by being a part of a PAC? Has that expanded your horizons, kind of going inside the belly of the beast, if you will?
Yeah, we just got our feet wet a little bit back in September, October timeframe. So my experience is a little bit limited right now, but, there's a lot of paperwork involved. I can tell you that, and thank God my partner handles all of that. But it's, you have to be very, very careful. You're extremely scrutinized because of the money's, changing hands. But what I can tell you is that people are fed up. And myself included. Ask me if I've watched any news channels in the last, few weeks. No, I haven't. And I'm in the news. But I'm tired of opinion journalism and agenda journalism, as you call it, and that's an excellent phrase. I get my news mainly, honestly, from Twitter. That way I can just pick and choose what I want to read. And I can get some in-depth reporting from the very few journalists that are left. John Solomon of The Hill, a very good journalist that I follow and usually pick up his pieces. Also, Katie Grimes, people don't know her, but she runs the California Globe right now. She's a gumshoe journalist, excellent, and a variety of others. But very limited. And people are fed up. And the American people, I'm not sure what the Idahoans, is that what you call yourself? I'm not sure what you call yourself. But
that works.
Yeah, does that work? Mm-hmm. What is it, though?
Idahoans.
I'm curious.
Yeah, Idahoans.
Idahoans? That's okay, good. I'm not sure what you're thinking at 51% of the people don't want a wall, because there was a time, and just 5 years ago, when even Democrats wanted the wall, and Dick Durbin wanted a longer wall than was being proposed. And so I'm tired of kind of watching the Democrats undermine our nation's sovereignty and our nation's safety truly at the expense of their own lust for power. And my latest piece appeared, I should say my near latest piece, appeared in the Washington Times about the census and why really the Democrats are fighting the citizenship question on the census. And lo and behold, yesterday an Obama-appointed judge said that asking if you're a citizen on the census is unconstitutional. Well, is asking if you're a citizen when you go fill out any other form unconstitutional? Because it's quite a common question. And by not by counting illegal aliens in the census, and this is why the Democrats don't want the wall, is because they want to flood states with illegal aliens because they're counted in the census and they give Democrats power. So we have an overrepresentation of Democrats in the Electoral College, an overrepresentation of Democrats in certain states because illegal aliens are counted in the census.
ReaganBabe.com's Megan Barth joining us, KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM, and yet it gets uncovered. And this is where the agenda journalism really drives the stuff home. You have people that would love to hear about this stuff and get fired up about it. But again, we just hear about how the government's bad, Trump is bad, the wall is bad. We have people that are coming into the border, but, over the border, but they're good. And, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer get a pass. And, Megan, I'm sure you've heard about it. You had, 30 Democratic lawmakers vacation in Puerto Rico with over 100 lobbyists. And I really don't need to see Senator Menendez without a shirt on. That's too much in-depth team coverage. And yet Donald Trump gets the blame, and he's the only one staying in Washington.
Right, and they also boycotted a lunch that Donald Trump had to negotiate. They have absolutely no desire to negotiate. They keep, and if you watched the response that Chuck and Nancy gave after Trump's Oval Office address, which many people refer to as American Gothic, I said they looked embalmed. But they didn't offer any solutions. They didn't offer any plans. It was just another never Trump, anti-Trump rally. And they believe that hating Trump is going to give them more power. This is going to be their platform for 2020. Join me in hating Trump. Join the resistance. Never mind our economic plans or our foreign policy plans. We're not going to debate the hard issues. We're simply going to politically assassinate Donald Trump's character. And they believe that is a winning strategy. It might be. There might be more people that hate Trump this time around than last time around. But the Democrats will not debate policy because when they do debate policy, they lose. And the reason they lose is because they immediately went back into the corner saying, well, how are you going to come up with $33 trillion for Medicare for all? They have no explanation for that. Their newest darling, a socialist, imagine that, a socialist found a home in the Democrat Party. Really? Well, yes, they always do find a home in the Democrat Party. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She is now on the Finance Committee, even though she's never really balanced a checkbook in her life. And so here we have socialists getting stronger and stronger in the Democrat Party. I warned people about that a long time ago.
Right.
And they don't want to debate their policies because their policies have never worked. They've never worked anywhere in the world that they've been tried. And that is why they resort to, the Donald Trump is evil. He's Cheeto. Oh, now he's a Russian agent. You have to be a real imbecile, an absolute imbecile, to believe that Donald Trump is a Russian agent. Really? Are we that intellectually stunted as a country?
Or that intellectually dishonest?
Correct.
Yeah, Megan Barth joining us, ReaganBabe.com on 107.5 FM, 580 AM with Kevin Miller in the morning. Getting back to Beto, right? Or Beto, what is his name again? Beto?
We'll call him Bob. His name is Bob.
Okay, Bob.
His name is Robert.
How dangerous is Bob? You were on the ground there in Texas. You were helping our great conservative Ted Cruz, social conservative Ted Cruz. I love what Rahm Emanuel said. The guy's a loser, but people seem to be in love with him. What's the appeal?
I think the Democrat Party is looking for another Kennedy-esque type of individual to use. Because right now, when you look at the Democrat Party, they're all, octogenarian white people. You don't really find a lot of diversity in the leadership of the Democrat Party. And so I think, really, he's got, I guess he's got the looks. Not good looking to me, but whatever. He's got the looks. He's got the panache. He kind of reminds me, too, of a white Barack Obama. Because he's not Hispanic, even though he tried to get into the Hispanic caucus in Texas, believe it or not. He's not Hispanic, not even announced Hispanic. So I think he's just kind of the white version of Barack Obama. And that's about it. And so this appeals to the low information voters. He, rode in on a skateboard at one of his rallies, and the kids just went wild. But we really don't know what his policies are. We know what the inside of his mouth looks like. But we really don't know what his policies are. We know that, of course, is likely going to embrace all of the policies that the socialist Democrats are embracing, and that is just bigger government, put more people on dependency. Donald Trump with his numbers, his economic numbers, there are more people off food stamps. There are more people working since we've been recording unemployment and employment across all demographics. Before the end of the year, 321,000 jobs created, blowing past everyone's expectations. But supposedly the Democrats have a bigger, better plan. The bigger, better plan is going to cost trillions of dollars, and then the better Green Deal, I think there's a bigger, better Green Deal. That's going to cost trillions of dollars on top of the other bigger, better deal, but no one can really tell you what's in the Green Deal. But what they can tell you is that it's going to solve social, racial, and economic justice. It's going to cost trillions of dollars. No one knows what's in it. We'll probably have to pass to find out, but everyone's problems will be solved because I guess jobs don't do that. So Beto is likely the same. What is a moderate Democrat, Kevin? Tell me.
Ooh.
I don't know, because what's a moderate to a socialist? What is it? Actually, I think a moderate Democrat is a moderate Republican. Mitt Romney. He's a Democrat. He's a moderate Democrat.
Megan Barth, ReaganBabe.com. Thank you very much. Always fired up. Always good to have you on, and welcome back.
Thank you so much. Look forward to talking to you soon.
Yes, ma'am. Megan Barth joining us. Well, we've got the heavy hitters joining us now on KIDO Talk Radio. And we start with Timmy on KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM. Good morning. You're on with Kevin Miller in the morning. Hello, Timmy.
Good morning, Moneymaker Miller. I'll tell you, I got my hands at 10 and 2, dude. I come driving up just out of Reno about 5 hours ago across through Jordan Valley. I'm about 17 miles outside Ontario right now. And it's thinned up pretty good, but I still got it at 10 and 2, doing 15 and 80. I tell you, I'm too old to be doing this, Miller. And come on, what's with Megan, Dave, calling people an imbecile that she's never balanced a checkbook and stuff like that? I mean, she's like decaffeinated coffee. That's what they tell me down in Nevada about her. That we call her Miss Decaf because sooner or later you realize it just ain't the real thing.
Well, thank goodness we have you as the real thing.
No wall, St. Paul. No wall. We don't need a wall. And they keep saying, oh, the people working the borders, they want the wall. But they never have one individual on the microphone saying, I want the wall. I want the wall. Not one person higher up in wearing the badge down there saying, I want the wall. Because nothing's coming across on the wall but where the wall is except poor people. The drugs are all coming across. I mean, they build submarines in South America that come up the Pacific coast along Oregon to the fentanyl.
Does anybody really know Does anybody really know what he's saying, or is he just talking to himself?
Do you know that, Miller? You want to Google a couple documentaries where they went down to the jungle?
I think that's what they call the tune-out factor. He's speaking, but I don't think he's saying anything.
Wait, now, you have the tune-out factor for almost 2 weeks. And what makes you such a celebrity that you can take that much time off?
Wait a minute. What is he talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking about you, dude. Don't you ever do that again.
You're right.
You're darn tootin' I'm right, and I got to keep my hands at 10 and 2 here. These semis, what's with these semis anyway?
I guess this is his routine. He's doing shtick.
Well, I'm not doing shtick, lick, sticky, picky, whatever you want to call it. You get Hank on first thing in the morning talking babble, and then you get somebody on with a brain like myself, and you just want to shut him down, and you just pit one against the other, but I talked hemp for how long, and then
no, you're really right. He's just going on and on and on, and I'm really trying to listen.
Then I was with hemp forever, and then Tea Party Bob jumped on with it. Now the feds jumped on with it, and now we're going to get that, and the hemp factories are going to be.
Well, it has been a while since he's been on.
I know.
Have we really missed him that much? I'm just having a conversation with everybody but you, because you're just kind of, I don't even think you're engaging with the audience. You're just, I think you missed me.
I did miss you. You know I love you. You're like a brother.
Yes.
The other brother by a different mother. And I'm crossing into Ontario here. I see some flashing lights up here by the waste. I'm checking on my people to make sure we get those stores open in February downtown here.
Yes.
You stay fired up, Miller.
Thank you. Good to hear from you.
Good to hear. I got to get you out of my pocket and take this hand off, too, and grab you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. 107.5 FM, 580 AM, KIDO Talk Radio with Kevin Miller in the morning. Terry from State College, Pennsylvania. Good morning.
Good morning. Wow, talking about a fart in the wind, and it just blew by. But nonetheless, Kevin, the debate goes back and forth about the wall. To my conservative-leaning friends, I have a response to we don't need a wall. Use technology, use more manpower. We build the wall today. 10 years from now, there's a guaranteed fact. They can cut the budget and they can remove personnel. They can remove technology or not replace it, whatever, but they will not remove the wall. And that's a thought that I have not heard brought up yet.
My fear about the wall is I'm in favor of it, have been for years. And remember, we go to Washington, D.C., thanks to our friends at FAIR that gladly pay for us to go there. There's no quid pro quo, and they say, look, you can be here, you can report. We talk to the border agents. We don't talk about the news, but we talk to the people. We talk to the ranchers. We talk to Sheriff Donahue about the issues that are really of that nature. What scares me is we build this wall, and then you have some lib come in, like Obama, and their first order of business is to blow it up.
Wow, no, that would be a really difficult proposition coming from a construction standpoint, Kevin. It would be very difficult physically to do that.
Well, that's what I'm saying is all of a sudden it would be seen as a great monument where we're going to blow up the wall like East and West Germany. No, it's not like East and West Germany.
Do you think we would ever reach a point through our whole society that we would allow a politician to do that? I would hope not, but we sure seem to be leaning in that direction. Kevin, President Trump has looked at this wall. It is a long ways underground. It is a high distance, non-scalable steel. I mean, this is good construction. I've looked at the variables there, and it's not a guarantee stop, but it's going to slow them down immensely if they build it the way he wants it. And you put it out there everywhere. Let's assume that we've got those mountainous areas that you can't build a wall in. Well, those are not the places that the illegals cross. They're not going to climb Mount Everest to get down to the other side into India, so to speak. They're going to go around. And, it is a deterrent. That's all it is, a deterrent. And we need to keep that in mind. But it gives us in our technology and our manpower, which we won't need as much of, to keep a better handle on the situation. How many countries, 28 countries have walls, but there are more being planned, but yet we can't build a wall. We've got to get these communists out of office. We really do. And to all you people that vote for the communists, are you sick? Are you nuts? Are you goofy? What are you that you would vote these kind of people in? Unbelievable. People need to say, hey, maybe I am wrong. Absolutely you're wrong. Or why don't you bring the illegals in? Why don't you leave them sleep in your living room? Give them a bedroom. Put an addition on your house for them. You sponsor them.
You welcome them.
Yeah, thank you. I worked real hard at that. No, I think the fart in the wind did that when it blew by.
Terry,
Kevin,
good to talk to you.
Yeah, I'm glad you had a good time off.
Well, we tried it. Yes, you've outed me. Yes, it was a dream vacation of a lifetime. Mrs. Miller and I went to Hawaii, and it was a blessing to be there, and marvelous photos on my Facebook, so it was a great time.
Yeah, we're jealous. We had talked about that last year, Vanessa and I.
I personally missed everybody here, missed Ray Amaya, missed being with you, but that's probably why I need to go to therapy, but this is our own version of therapy every morning.
Well, let me say it. Oh, cool. I'm glad you missed us. We missed you. But you did a wonderful job before you left. There were some phenomenal interviews that Kevin put together. Everybody, if you missed them, your mistake, your fault, and very, very informative. And I appreciate all that extra time you put in just so we could have those great interviews. It was done well, very done well.
Thank you. I worked all over the holidays for that. Terry, God bless. I got to run, brother.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Coming up next, more of your phone calls. Do you support the wall? What about the government shutdown? Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. Brian, Blair, Liberty, Linda, and Max, please hang on. We will get to you in 2 seconds. First, Tony J. Powers joining us from Fox News Radio. Did you know you can exclusively listen to Fox News Radio right here in the Treasure Valley on 107.5 FM, 580 AM, KIDO Talk Radio? Good morning.
I like that. That just does my heart good.
Is there something that you'd like to share with me?
Thank you for the introduction. What am I? Do you want me to give you condolences for your team losing? Is that what you're waiting for? Or?
Proving that I can take it as well as dish it out. I am giving you the opportunity, and we're not going to sit back and say, Kevin Miller, blah blah blah. I'm sure you thought there was a reason why we didn't have you on right after the national title game. I had a chance to take Mrs. Miller to Hawaii. Full disclosure, I just didn't want you to think that I was ducking you because I give you a hard time, and quite frankly, it ruined my vacation that the tie got rolled, by the way. But good morning, madam. Any thoughts on that?
Well, we'll address the Kevin Miller blah, blah, blah in a minute. However, if that was a verbatim quote that you thought I was going to make. If you're going to find out that your team got absolutely squashed in the national championship, you should probably do it when you're in Hawaii. So that was a good call for your part.
No, I tell you, we're so spoiled. It ruined. I was so depressed. I go, my gosh, this is how everybody else feels.
You were making it very difficult for me to root for the SEC in this case. But,
again. Well, look, we just didn't show up.
I can't say a word. My team, we've been there and done that, so I feel you. But it is kind of odd for y'all not to show up. That is very not par for the course there.
Very, very troubling. And
yeah.
Already the hotline's ringing from Jeff the Suit. Get back to the issues that people in Idaho care
Jeff.
about. So, yes.
Okay.
He doesn't appreciate the shout-out either. He's a very focused young man, so... Speaking of focus, there are a lot of people kicking off the campaigns. Home of the East Coast Millers, New Hampshire. You've got the former mayor, Mr. Castro, campaigning there. Gillibrand announcing. You've got Elizabeth. I was going to say Elizabeth Sanders for some reason. Elizabeth Warren drinking beers. Some guy, Beto, he's getting his teeth fixed. Is this any way to start a presidential campaign?
Yeah, I was amazed at how many people wanted to watch Beto O'Rourke get dental work done. But besides that, yes, you're right. Kirsten Gillibrand made it official that she has launched an exploratory committee for 2020. She did that last night at Colbert. She is, of course, a Democrat in what is expected to be a pretty crowded field of Democrats. It's probably going to resemble the 2016 Republican field at some point. You have, like I said, her with the exploratory committee. Excuse me. You have Elizabeth Warren with one. Julian Castro has said he's running. Matter of fact, he is in New Hampshire this morning doing some appearances there. Warren is going to, I forget where she's going to be. I know Gillibrand's going to Iowa over the weekend, so they're not wasting any time getting into those states that have the early, caucus and primary.
Right, and they do have a place in the West called Nevada that has something of the other, but I'm trying to steal that for Idaho. Wherever I lived, I always tried to steal that thunder of the New Hampshire primary.
We won't tell anybody.
Right, but or the South Carolina, Iowa. Idaho, close enough.
Yeah, they're and it's pretty far out. Iowa doesn't have their caucus for another year, but it's just like I said, this is expected to be a pretty crowded field. So we're all getting in our homework early on these folks and we haven't even heard yes or no from like Amy Klobuchar, who says she's considering possibly running.
That's
Cory
kind of
Booker is another name. Kamala Harris. We've heard.
Back to Amy, I can't pronounce her last name, from Minnesota. That's an odd one, considering that she just got appointed to that, and I believe then got elected, but she's only been in a couple of years. Everybody wants to be former President Obama, but that was magic, that was lightning in a bottle. It was.
That was, and it's hard to argue with the fact that was a movement, not necessarily just a campaign. There was more to it than that. And like you said, the fact that she just got reelected, so did Gillibrand. I mean, Gillibrand said in her campaign for reelection, in which she just got in November for her second full term, she said, I'm going to serve out my time as senator. I'm, making you that pledge. So you can bet that she's going to hear a lot about that.
Well, Tanya J. Powers, I guess that's it for you.
Well, okay.
You have a nice day. We appreciate it.
I don't want Jeff Hotline and me too, man. It's just, this is your show.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too. Tanya J. Powers joining us. Let's get to the phones. We apologize for taking so long to get your calls. We go to the lovely Liberty Linda with Kevin Miller on 107.5 FM, 580 AM. Good morning, Liberty Linda.
Well, thank you. Good morning. And is this Dr. Kevin Miller?
Dr. Kevin Miller.
Kevin,
how's that?
You are our therapist. If we couldn't call into the Kevin Miller show every morning, we would go bonkers. We would be bouncing off the walls. You are our therapist. How about that?
Well, we appreciate that.
Well, we need you. Missed you so much, but I'm so happy for you and Mrs. Miller to get away and have fun.
Well, it's a privilege. It's an opportunity, and now we're back, ready to go. And in fact, I decided to postpone my colonoscopy because I wanted to be with you guys. I hear that's a life-changing experience.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Well, we try to be as transparent as possible, yes.
Well, you always are. That's why we need you. And you would have to be on an island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean with no communication, no cell phone, to not know that we need a wall on our border. I mean, how can you live on this earth and not realize that we have to have one? So all I can say is I'm thankful to our president that he sticks to his guns and will not budge when he knows he's right. And boy, has he been pushed on this one, Kevin.
You're right. They're out to get him.
Well, maybe we should take down, Schumer and Pelosi's walls around their homes, and we'll take all those boulders and bricks and things, and we'll start the wall on the southern border with those bricks. How about that one?
That works for me.
And as far as our Constitution goes, our Constitution was given to us by God, and we should not play around with it. We should not, if they take it into this Constitution Convention, one bite at a time, they can take our whole Constitution away from us. That's the one thing this country has. We need to keep it. It's the most important thing that we do have. And the other most important thing we have, Kevin, is you.
Well, I'm humbled to be a part of it. Thank you, Liberty Linda.
Well, we love you, and it was so nice to hear Ray Maya's voice this morning, too. We love Ray Maya as well. And so you're it. Oh, and next time with Tommy Ahlquist, talk to him about running for president in 4 years.
Well, we would love to get Tommy back on. Hopefully he's listening, and we want to get Tommy. We want to get Tommy just to feel comfortable enough to call in any time, like Mike Miniger
4
does.
Years from now, President Ahlquist. How about that?
You heard it here first.
I'll go for that.
All right, exclusive. Thank you, Liberty Linda.
Thank you, Kevin. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Max in Garden City, thank you for your patience. You're on KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM with Kevin Miller.
Well, Kevin Miller, welcome home, young man.
And welcome home. Welcome home, yes.
Yeah, I'd like to cover something you've not been talking about, if that's okay, and then drift back to the wall. Is that all right?
Sure.
China. As you know, that's what I do. I watch China. That's pretty much my job. And I've been hearing all of these disconcerting rumors on right-wing radio about the Chinese social score system. Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay, that's good because it's bunk. What they're trying to tell you is that China is installing a social score based on the model of the FICO credit score. Only the social score would rate you according to party participation, do you eat at McDonald's or at Chinese restaurants, et cetera, et cetera. This story has been gaining a lot of traction in the screaming right media. And I spent almost a month with my contacts, with my friends, and I can promise anybody listening, it's a bunch of garbage. There is no social score, and if there is one, it's news to the Chinese.
Well, fair enough. I'm glad we've dispelled that rumor.
Yeah, it is. It's. I've listened to Glenn Beck spitting this stuff out, and I thought, oh, good Lord, somebody has to stop this. On the other side, about a wall. Walls are not built to keep people out. And everybody's misunderstanding this. Walls are built to control the flow of people. The Great Wall of China was not built to keep people out. It was built to know where they're coming. One doorway is far more limiting, don't you think, than an open border?
Agreed.
So if we build the wall, we have a control of flow. We know they're going to come around. Good. That's where we put our people. We know they want to come through this door or that door. Terrific. That's where we put our people. Anybody who thinks that technology can do the job needs to realize that if we used drones and surveillance technology, we would have to have a minimum of 30 of our people, armed people, every quarter of a mile, the entire border. Otherwise, we could not respond quickly enough to multiple sensor alarms or drone alerts. The wall is important, folks. If you don't think it's important, that's fine because they'd love to see you up in Canada, land of the snowflake. Evan, welcome home.
Thank you, Max.
And listen, I think you already had your colonoscopy. Wasn't Liberal Steve on a few minutes ago? Oh, okay, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Welcome back.
Thank you, Max. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Coming up next, more of your phone calls. Brian, hang in there. Jared, pro-life, and Steve. All that more, you, me, Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. 107.5 FM, 580 AM, KIDO Talk Radio. Brian in Nampa, good morning. You're on with Kevin Miller. Hello, Brian.
Hey, Kevin. You went to Hawaii?
I did.
How was that, man?
It's not Idaho.
It's not Idaho. Did you gain more weight? Did you eat too much in the heat?
Well, they did have a lot of food there, yes. They did have a lot of buffets, but it wasn't near as well as going to Chuck-a-Rama or the Golden Corral.
Gotcha. So just a little FYI, I've lived in Texas. I've lived in Houston and just south of Austin and Buda. And since I worked in a prison, I have a tendency to talk to people in law enforcement, border security, and all kinds of stuff like that. They want a wall. Let's just use an example. I mean, you've already made the point pretty good that we know why the Democrats are doing what they're doing. They don't want it because they want more people voting on their side. That's all it comes down to. That's what they care about. They don't care about security. They did back in 2003 and 2006 when, you know, they needed to get elected. But now that Trump's saying no, it's like, no, we can't have that. But let's just tear down our walls on our prisons and our fences on our prisons and see how much the people of the United States like that. I mean, come on. That's basically what we've allowed to happen. We've allowed a free flow of any kind of person that wanted to come into our country, and we know there's a lot of problems down there on that border. So if the Democrats are so, you know, anti-wall, go ask the prison guard what he would think would happen if you shut down just the two outside fences, let alone the wall of the prison down. It would be chaos. And that's basically what's been happening down in our southern states is chaos. And anybody that lived down there and hears all the stories and is right down there is well aware of that. And it's I don't have the word. The Democrats could go right now and make a deal with the president. It doesn't have to be a $30 billion wall like what they initially wanted back in the early 2000s. He's okay with $5 billion. He's saying we can get it done. And they are so just like, oh, we hate this guy so much that we aren't even going to compromise and do that. And I find it rather interesting that they're all vacationing and having fun while they're putting the American people in danger. But the guy that works in law enforcement, that's a disgrace. And the people in those areas should wake up and realize who they're voting for. Got any questions for me, Kevin?
I think you covered it, Brian. Thank you.
You bet, and I'm glad you're back, man. We missed you. I was a little worried there. I was listening still, but I'm like, nobody's calling in. I don't hear a lot of interaction. So,
well, now you guys, everybody knows the secret. That's something I, didn't want a lot of people to know for security's purposes.
You got to get away and have some fun, dude. So I'm glad you did.
Thank you for your thoughts, Brian. Appreciate it, brother.
No problem.
Okay, traffic and weather together.
No mix. I'm just Channel 7's Eric Everett.
And back to your phone calls, KIDO Talk Radio, quickly to Jared in Nampa. Jared, good morning.
Hey, I know I only got a second, but
no, you got you got some time, brother. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Man, everyone, congratulations, feeling special today, probably.
Sure, go ahead, Jared.
With all this stuff that's going on, it's crazy. We've got a lot of people wanting to run, but very few people who really are running to actually run for president. Seems like most of them seem to be running for vice president in hopes that somebody who's successful just grabs onto them. It's really silly to think that Democrats plan to fail and hope that someone else drags them along with them in their success. And it's so funny that people would do that. But just wanted to say, Beto has had such a fun little everybody saying, hey, he's white, he's not Mexican, he's white. And, if we were Trump, he'd just say, Beto be white. And it's Beto be white, it'll work. So if he starts a campaign, let's just use that. Let's just call him, hey, Beto be white. And let's let him know he cares more about his white country and his white people than he claims to care about his Mexican people and his everybody else that he really isn't. He's lying to everybody. So,
Jared, out of the park. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Take care.
All right. More of your phone calls coming up next. I See You Pro-Life. We'll get to you coming up. Phone number is here at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, the place for politics in the morning. And, of course, news throughout about our beloved Treasure Valley. Kevin Miller with you, taking your calls. The place to be heard right here on KIDO Talk Radio. Glenn Beck, Dave Ramsey, Fox News, Sean Hannity, Liberal Steve, Tea Party Bob, you, me, Lars Larson. A lot going on. Stay with us, please.